Mother's Day is around the corner, and for some women, this is not a holiday that you look forward to due to the unhealthy relationship that you have with your mother. Trust me, I get it. I suffered silently for years because as a child growing up, my mother was emotionally unavailable, and that pain followed me all the way to my adulthood. And this is one of the very reasons that I had to create the Motherless Child Guidebook, a sacred space for healing your mother wounds to really support myself and my healing journey and be a resource for women all over the world so that they too could start to heal. Inside of the digital guidebook, you're going to find topics that's going to cover how to identify the toxic patterns in the relationship that you have with your mother, how to identify your mother wounds and heal from your past, what does it look like to reparent your inner child, and then lastly, how do you create a new narrative, a new story for yourself that feels good when you share it with others. Now, also within the guidebook, you're going to have soul writing prompts. So that way you can get your feelings out of your heart and out of your mind and down on paper. You're also going to have 5 videos that are going to complement each section. And it's going to be like I'm holding your hand and giving you a warm hug after you complete each section. I mean, what's better than having a friend go along with you, right? And then you're also going to get additional resources such as a playlist of music to help you and encourage you, healing affirmations, a book list, and so much more. Go to themotherlesschild.com and invest in your healing today. Hey, hey, welcome back to another episode of the Girl Be Free podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, where I'm going to inspire and motivate you to show up for yourself. We are in a 3-part series for the Motherless Child Guidebook, a sacred space for healing your mother wounds. And today is part 2, which is titled, I Am Not What Happened to Me. Mother and daughter relationships can be very, very complicated. And many of us have experienced some things that happen in our childhood and may even your adulthood that has shaped you into the woman that you are today. However, I do want to encourage you that your past is your past. And what happened in your childhood or maybe leading up through your teens and adulthood, it does not define who you are. So, whatever tragic or traumatic situation occurred between you and your mother, what she allowed to happen, what she didn't allow, whatever those experiences that you had when you were growing up, they're just experiences. At any point in your life, you can shift and you can change things. And of course, what happened to you when you were a child, it affected you in some capacity, but you don't have to stay in that negative space based on what happened. So for me, when I was growing up, I seen a lot more than I feel like a child should have ever saw. I had a lot of different experiences. One story I want to share with you today heavily impacted me was that we moved a lot every single year. And probably, I don't know, multiple times per year, we were moving to somewhere new. And so I feel like I grew up all over the city of Cleveland, always going to a new school, never being able to make solid friendships because, I would be there half a year and then I'll be on to another school the following year. And it was very difficult for me because I wanted friendships. I'm an only child and I wanted those experiences. But again, we were always moving. And I remember there were times when we moved in very not so safe neighborhoods. And the things that I saw, the things that I was around, I decided as I became an adult that whatever happened, that wasn't going to define me as a person. So, yes, I'm familiar with certain situations. Again, I've seen many things, all that jazz. But that doesn't mean that that is what shapes me into the woman that I am today. Okay? Many people have experienced some traumatic situation as a child. And as you grew into an adult, you allow that situation to define who you are. But what has happened is that you've stayed stuck in that place or stagnant. And it's hard for you to grow past that because you're holding on to the past. Another thing that I want to point out is that, and I'm noticing this through all of the comments and emails and, conversations that I'm having with people is that you're waiting for an apology or you're waiting for acknowledgement of what happened in your past. And sometimes, depending on the relationship that you have with your mother, you're not going to get that. I don't want you to stay in that place of yearning for your mother to apologize for what happened to you or what didn't happen or acknowledge it, and then you never get it, and then you stay in the same space emotionally and mentally year after year after year. The goal for the Motherless Child Guidebook, A Sacred Space for Healing Your Mother Wounds, is to help you start your healing journey. And I do want to point out that this is a solo journey, okay? And this is your inner work that you have to do so that way you don't allow what has happened in your past to define who you are today. There's a quote that I want to share with you by Carl Jung that says, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." And that is so beautiful because you get to choose the life that you want. Whether you believe that or not, you get to choose the life you want to live. You are responsible for your healing, not your mother, not your siblings, not your father. You are responsible for your healing journey. And you have to grow past what happened in the past through going through therapy, using the Motherless Child Guidebook and any other resources that can help you. You have to use those tools so that you can grow. I know for me, I had to stop playing the victim card. I had to stop blaming my mother for the choices that she made or didn't make in my life. What I realized is that I had to stop playing the victim and I had to stop blaming my mother for the choices that she made or she didn't make in my life, because holding on to that was keeping me stagnant in my life. So every little thing that didn't go right, I was quick to blame her. Oh, this is happening because I moved around a lot, or I'm not getting further along in life because she did this. And that wasn't serving me in any way, shape, or form. So I had to let that stuff go. And I want to continue to share that this is not an easy process. It's not an easy journey. However, the goal is for you to continue to grow. And the goal is for you to do the work so that you're in a different space mentally and emotionally next month or a few months from now or even this time next year. The goal is for you to grow and evolve so that you can flourish and be free. And you cannot do that if you're holding on to your past and what happened to you. And I understand many of you have shared some very, very painful stories of what your mother did to you, what she said to you, how she made you feel, what she allowed. I get it. That stuff is painful and is deep. I understand it, okay? However, my goal is to help women feel free. My goal is to empower you and encourage you that if I'm able to change my life, if I'm able to walk in this, if I'm able to be free and to grow into this woman that I love today, then you can do it too. I promise you can do it. But you have to take the initiative. You have to let go of all of the stuff that has held you bound, if you will, and you got to grow past that. And you can't just focus on yourself, but you got to do it for every single person you're connected to. If you have children, your children need you to heal. They need you to be free. Otherwise, you're going to pass that pain that you're holding on to. You're going to pass that on to your children, and they're going to pass it on to their children. And you're going to let those generational curses continue and continue because you're not doing your healing work. This is not to make you feel bad. This is to encourage you that you can do it. There's a reason that you're listening to this podcast episode. There's a reason that you're in tune with my work because you desire more. You want more. And guess what? You deserve it. I just want to encourage you to invest in yourself, invest in your healing. The Motherless Child Guidebook, A Sacred Space for Healing Your Mother Wounds, is the perfect starting point, whether you're in therapy or not. And I'm covering topics that is going to help you get to the space in your life where you're able to not carry that pain, the way that you've been carrying it for a long time. In the Motherless Child Guidebook, A Sacred Space for Healing Your Mother Wounds, you're going to find the following topics that I'm going to cover. 8 toxic mother patterns that can cause a strain in any mother-daughter relationship. How to identify your mother wounds and start to heal from your past. How to mother your inner child and steps you can take to reparent the little girl inside of you. How to take back your power and create a new narrative for yourself. And it's not just a 40-page guidebook, but you're going to get bonuses that's going to complement the guidebook to help you on your journey. You're going to get over 90 minutes of video content that goes along with the guidebook. You're going to get 25 soul writing prompts to help you dig deep and write from your heart, specifically for the mother wounds. You're going to get over 30 healing affirmations that you can find in the guidebook, as well as an MP3 download that you can listen to anywhere you're at. You're going to get a curated book list, so that way you have resources that you can add to your healing journey. You're going to get a music playlist with songs that I picked out for you to listen to as you do the healing work. And then you're going to get the Motherless Child podcast episode series. So that way everything is packaged in one beautiful way. And that way you have everything literally at your fingertips. Pre-orders are available through August 23rd. And anyone that pre-orders by that date will get a group live conversation session with yours truly. Listen, my sole purpose is to help you start your healing journey. It is to make space for you. So that way you don't feel alone, that you feel seen, that you feel acknowledged. It is an investment, but it's less than a therapy session. Okay? And if your healing is important to you as it is to me, you're going to invest in yourself and start doing the inner work. And guess what? I'm going to be here with you along the way. And then there's going to be a whole community around this that you can find under the hashtag the Motherless Child Guidebook. We are here for you. We love you. We are here to support you. And we're all in this together. So you can go to themotherlesschild.co to pre-order your copy today. Again, that's themotherlesschild.co to pre-order your copy of the Motherless Child Guidebook, A Sacred Space for Healing Your Mother Wounds. And let me add, if you're listening to this episode, but you have a healthy relationship with your mother, that is absolutely beautiful. I'm sure there's someone in your life that can benefit from it. And I'm learning more and more as I have these conversations. Women are privately sharing their stories with me. And so when I go and I look at, their Instagram feeds, or I look at, the things that they post on Facebook, or I see them in person, beautiful women that you wouldn't even know that's broken and dealing with mother issues. That is why I'm encouraging you to share this with everyone, because you never know what people are going through. Again, the website is themotherlesschild.co. You will find it in the show notes. Please share your feedback with me from the episodes by following me on Instagram at BeFreeProject. You can always shoot me an email. That link will be in the show notes. Until next time, girl, be free.